Welcome back to Draft Talk. Big day today, Edge episode. I am Tyler Brooke, joined alongside Justis Mosqueda, corporate overlord over at Acme Packing Company. Justis, top 30 visits coming in. I know that's a kind of exciting time.
Yeah, most of them are UDFAs for the
Yeah, got a
Packers.
couple interesting names at least.
Yeah, one of them we're going to talk about a little bit later in Romelo Height. Ted Hurst, the wide receiver out of Georgia State. I watched him. I ended up giving him like a third, fourth round
Almost
grade.
exactly where I have him, yeah.
He makes sense. I mean, he's a fast guy, which the Packers value, and he's a 200-plus pound guy, which, like LaFleur, if you're under 200 pounds, he basically doesn't want you to play football for his football team.
He's like, this is pathetic.
Yeah, it really is like that. And I know you've asked him questions about like run blocking and stuff like that on the perimeter, and he's like, it's more like a mentality thing than anything else. But then you look at how he's used his receivers for damn near a decade, and it's like, yeah, dude, if you're not 200 pounds, we don't really want you on the field.
Brother, listen, his NFL coaching career basically started with Andre Johnson. So he's just like, why can't you all simply be like Andre Johnson?
Yeah. Yeah. So no, Hurst makes a ton of sense. There's definitely more. It's funny because last year we took two receivers in the top 100, right? And there weren't that many Packers-sized receivers in the class. One of them was Sabian, and that was an obvious one. I think that was when I talked with Andy Herman and we were talking draft prospects. I think Sabian Williams was the first name that came out of my mouth because of how much he made sense for what the Packers like. But this class, there's a ton of them. Here's the problem. We're oversigned at receiver.
We
got 7 roster bowl guys right now, and 5 of them are in contract years. So if you're going to draft one, you got to move one. Is basically how it works. Or you give one up for free to someone. Like you just give someone a receiver for free. I don't think that's the world that they're going to want to be living in. So I do buy some of the Dontavian Wicks smoke stuff. I don't know that for a fact.
My child.
Yeah, but like, I mean, so Christian Watson is an expiring contract. Jaden Reed, Wicks, Melton, who everyone keeps forgetting, but like he's incredibly important. He's gonna make this team because of special teams alone.
Team Travis Hunter, baby.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Sky Moore that we just brought in. Yep. So all those guys are in contract years. You got to start extending or trading some of these guys.
Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. I'm sure we'll get some more clarity in the coming weeks, but today's a fun episode for us. We're going to talk through all the edges, which is way more fun than joining the discourse of have you considered this good player is actually not that good, which is my favorite season of the pre-draft process. If you are listening to this or watching this, a reminder that this is on you can watch this or listen to this in 2 different ways. We are on YouTube at Best Available. And if you're watching right now, please subscribe. And if you want to listen to it in audio format, we are on Frozen Tundra Frequencies, wherever you listen to podcasts. That is Luke in the background if you're watching on video. Just regardless of which one you're doing, listen, watch, subscribe to both. It really, helps us out. So appreciate that. But this is going to be a longer episode. It's probably going to be in line with the offensive line episode that we had, where we went into pretty intimate detail with a lot of guys. I watched 22 edge prospects, and I just want to say, really, really fun edge class. I really enjoyed a lot of these names, especially a pretty lengthy tier of day 2 guys.
I'm trying to do the math on how many I've seen, because you've definitely seen more. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I might have hit 15, depending on how you want to call it. So okay. You've hit more than me, for sure. I hit the kind of like top 100 guys. I mean, it's a deep class. For whatever it's worth, folks, I'm basically... Yeah, I'm caught up through like the entire top 100 and all of the positions that we've watched, so we're not counting receiver, tight end, and safety right now, if my count is right. And then I'll probably spend the next couple of weeks, honestly, doing Packers visits and catching up on the top 150 guys. Yeah. So I don't know how we're going to want to do this for receivers, tight end, safeties. I probably won't be doing the deepest dives at those positions, but I'll hear Tyler out, and then we can bounce around some ideas and stuff. I've seen some of them.
We're planning the pod on the pod, which is my favorite part of what Draft Talk is about here. It's my favorite part of our brand. we could just start getting away from positions and start doing, our guys, sleepers, Packers type. We can get fun. We could do a freaking live show and just get questions from the Draft Talk community. Like,
yeah,
I know a lot of you guys constantly bug us for more live stuff. So, speaking of, I am going to be doing a live stream mock draft / mailbag tomorrow night. So if you're listening to this on Wednesday, that'll be Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I've been doing mock drafts, and I'm like, why don't I just do a live one, see how that goes? So join me tomorrow, or again Thursday, 8 Eastern. Edges. Did we go off your list last week?
Yeah, let's go off of yours this week.
Okay. All right. Just a quick housekeeping note. Arvell Reese, I still consider an off-ball linebacker. So
okay,
why don't we just talk about him right now? Because as far as edge goes, he's kind of just a twitchy bull rusher with some like bend, but like I don't think he's like I just don't see full-time edge right now.
I don't either. These guys end up growing though.
For sure.
And, I would play him at off-ball linebacker just because I think that that's where he can help the most right now. Yeah. We've even seen a guy like Micah Parsons, right, where he kind of splits that role. He plays third down edge rusher. He's off-ball linebacker on base downs, like his first year in his NFL career. And then immediately after, like they get, one full season with NFL development behind him, and they're like, oh no, he's ready to play edge.
He turned into like one of the best pass rushers in football. Yeah.
Right. So I could totally see that type of development curve for Arvell Reese, who, again, coming into this season before that Texas game to open the year, he wasn't really on anyone's radars. And then he plays that Texas game, and it's like, that's the best guy on the field. Between I think at the time they were number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the country. It's like that's the best football player on the field. What the hell happened here? So yeah, I mean his stock is kind of skyrocketed, all this stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's been a whirlwind for him and his team. I think he's gonna be the top guy off the board if we're talking edges.
I think so too.
Maybe David Bailey has a chance. I don't know. But this is a weird class because a lot of people have a lot of split opinions on kind of like there's tiers, but there's no clear 1, 2, 3 inside of these tiers.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. That being said, my number 1 edge, even if we did consider Arvell Reese to be an edge, is Rueben Bane out of Miami. I can't get enough of this kid. One of the more fun evaluations I've done at edge because he doesn't fit the traditional, I think what we think of a modern day edge prospect. We don't think of him as this super lengthy, freak athlete. Instead, he's dense, powerful, has crazy bend for his size. His ankle flexibility at how big he is does not make any sense to me. He's almost physicality wise, and this is such a hyperbolic comp, but I do see Reggie White as far as the way he plays football. I'm not saying he is Reggie White. I'm not saying he's Reggie White. I need to clarify again. I'm not saying he's Reggie White, but I don't see many edge prospects that can throw the hump move like this kid can. He is so fun to watch. I love everything about how he's wired. He is sensational at playing the run, and it feels like just every single knock about him comes back to the arm length. But I just think he is such a tenacious 3-down player that I want him on my football team.
I'm with you. I mean, I have thought since basically midway through the season when we were watching Miami, because this is a thing, right? There were teams that were way lower on Bane in season. Like I talked to Dane Brugler about some of this stuff, and Dane was like, there's teams that don't have a day 2 grade on Bane because of the arm length. Just coming into the year, they were just we're just not doing it. We're not going down that road. You watch that Miami defense, man. I mean, it was Keontae Scott, him, Mesador, and then they figured out basically around the playoffs, they were like, wait, we could just run the ball behind our 350-pound offensive lineman. Yeah. And that was good enough for them to get to the national championship and legitimately take it to the wire.
I thought it was against my Hoosier. I thought it was phenomenal coaching by that team to find an identity and really just stick with it. I actually am glad IU ended up facing them in the national championship because I just had so much respect for how they had built that program this past season. I know you probably have some mixed feelings involving Mario Cristobal, but
Oh no, he lost. That was fine. He lost in his hometown. I'm good. No.
All the storylines on being in Miami. My University of Miami is playing there, but also Mendoza getting snubbed by the Hurricanes and being from the Miami area. There's just so many awesome storylines for that. Yeah. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. So let's. Anything else you want to touch on, Bane?
Bane, I might be like arm length truther, dude. Like I don't think it really matters.
It depends on your play style.
Well, yeah, I mean, but we're not two gapping anymore. We're not putting our hands and locking our hands out. Like, even if you're setting an edge, you're setting an edge with one arm. One arm is always going to be longer than two because
he's got tape of doing exactly what you're talking about.
Like, it didn't matter for Brandon Graham. It didn't matter for Clay Matthews. I understand that everyone sees the numbers and it's like Bane lowest ever since whatever. We're talking about 1/8 of an inch smaller than some of these guys who have made all pros and Pro Bowls. We're also like the other thing that people aren't really talking about, I guess, in the media space, like the teams do not trust the arm measurements from the combine anymore. They really don't. Like, guys will be at one length at the Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, lose an inch at the combine, and then gain that inch again at the Pro Bowl and stuff like that. I don't think teams are really looking at. I think the teams are like, the combine messed up. However, they're doing their arm length and they have for like the past 2 years. I thought it was interesting. There was some of the framing with it was like Schefter, or it was like Bane gained like 1.5 inches on like one of the team's measurements. What that means is teams are individually measuring him.
Yeah, that's very odd.
So they're like in those interviews and stuff, like they're measuring some of these players for arm length and things like that. Which again just goes back to like they don't trust the combine. The combine isn't run by the NFL, by the way. It's run by National, which is one of the two big like third-party services. There's National and then there's Blesto. Your team is probably, I think most teams, I think it's like 30 teams or something like that are signed up to one of the other. So yeah, I mean, I don't care, man. He's a good football player. I'm taking him. I don't care.
I want to re-emphasize again, just the bend is stupid for a guy that dense. I just don't see that often. There's that bag. Like I think it's so stupid to take an entire draft take out of watching like the workout videos and stuff, but he had that one come out after the combine where he's just like effortlessly dipping around these bags. And I'm just like, I love him. I can't wait to see where he ends up. I just hope it's a good home because he could be a really nasty football player.
Where do you want to see him go?
I mean, I would love him just somehow in Saleh's defense.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
because like, and Washington was another one too, but I know that they're switching to kind of like the Brian Flores style of defense, or I guess should be because they just hired the DC there. But like the old Dan Quinn scheme, I think I would have liked him there too. Like anything where it's just like we're sending 4 and our 4 have to be the reason why we win football games. Like I love that for Bane.
Yeah, I think he's going to get drafted earlier than the more pessimistic people think. Like people are thinking borderline top 10, and I'm like, I could see the Jets having at least a conversation at 2.
Sure,
like that's my honest take.
Yeah.
All right, edge 2 is David Bailey. The worst aesthetic of any prospect.
Put on gloves.
Put on something. It's biker shorts. Nothing else. The number is 31.
Bad number. Yeah, it's not good. It's an ugly look. It's an ugly look.
But then you watch him, and the twitch and burst off the snap are ridiculous. He is one of those few guys that can like legitimately dip like around strikes. Like he can time up when that tackle is trying to strike him to, engage his pass protection. He just like literally ducks under it. It's some really, really cool tape. He's got that twitch and bend is pretty freaky. He's got the length, so he can convert that speed to power. My biggest concerns with him are really just against the run because it feels like he's just never playing it. So it's hard to get a more clean evaluation. Like he's always just trying to rush the passer, and it can be detrimental to the run defense. But with the way that defense is set up, there's just so many playmakers on that defense. He's just kind of assuming everyone else is going to clean things up. But I do believe, we can work on that with his physical tools. Really fun pass rusher. I don't see top 10 pick in him. I think I just have a couple concerns, but man, like the tools he does have that are like his like calling cards are really fun to watch.
I would say in the normal class, not 10.
There we go. That's probably a better way to put it. Yeah.
In this class, yes. Yeah, so some player background stuff. I mean, he's a great kid. So he went to Mater Dei, which is like a huge football powerhouse. I mean, not just football powerhouse. I mean, it's a really good private school in Orange County. He was a high school All-American, decided to go to Stanford of all places. And this
Nice.
is, well post Harbaugh Stanford that we're talking about, right? He actually was going to stick it out at Stanford until this past spring. Their head coach got fired because he got, I think it was a second Title IX investigation into him, and then he ended up getting canned. That's when Frank Reich took over, like in the middle of the spring, and he ended up hitting the portal, going to Texas Tech portal, basically their entire defense this past year. They got, good production out of it, so it's hard to blame them. Bailey ended up being a first-team All-American this past year. I don't think he's as good as Will Anderson, but I think like if you're drafting David Bailey, like you're hoping that one day he will be a Will Anderson, right? I think that's kind of the hope. I expect him to be a decent pass rusher day one. Struggle a little bit in the ground game, but yeah, I mean he's never going to be a huge guy by any means. I mean he barely got over 250 at the combine, and that was without him doing any testing.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see where he goes. I mean, there's a lot of teams I feel like will take a look at him. He could go before Bane based on what a team's looking for. Again, I personally would not, but he's the one I'm most curious because I have no idea, how high or low he's going to end up. But I feel pretty confident it'll be somewhere in the top 10, 15.
He's another guy, by the way, like all the spots that we talked about with Bane, those are the spots I like Bailey too. Like if you get him in Tennessee, you get him in maybe Washington, stuff like that. So.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if we're about to go off the rails yet, but I feel like I'm getting close with my rankings. But edge 3 for me is Keldendrick Faulk out of Auburn.
Okay.
It's more so I'm just fascinated by, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of what this kid's going to be. He's 6'6", 285, 34.5-inch arms. I like his ability to engage at the point of attack. He can be really powerful, and that shows up. The pass rush still needs a lot of work technique wise, in my opinion. Like I think he's not close to being what he is as a pass rusher, but I think early downs he's ready to go, and I think we can work on the other stuff. And the reason I think that so strongly is this kid's 20. He turned 21 in September.
Yes.
With that size, I feel like he has not like grown into his own body yet. That's terrifying for me. Like I'd be scared as an offensive lineman, if he gets drafted in my division, knowing that he's going to just, I think, keep improving year over year. We're talking about so many guys in this class that are like 24, 25 years old. And then we're talking about this kid out of Auburn, kind of a disappointing, couple of years for the Tigers. But we've got this 20-year-old ball of clay, 6'6" kid that is just now figuring out, I think, how special he could become. And when I consider that plus how comfortable he is, it doesn't always show up, but how comfortable he is getting those pads low at that size to gauge at the point of attack. Like, I think we can work on the rest from there. I'm pretty excited about what he can become.
So Faulk was a guy I saw in passing, so I didn't do a full grade on him. But yeah, I mean, the physical traits, right, are crazy. I mean, he's damn near 6'6", he's damn near 280. He's 20 years old. He's going to start the season at 20 years old. Seems like a good edge setter. I mean, obviously the production isn't necessarily there, right? That's why he wasn't ever able to make, all SEC or anything like that. I probably would have him a little bit further down my list, but I get the whole idea of just like, man, Auburn wasn't doing anything notable. Well, their defense was solid, but like the team wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, and he's just one of those, especially like in a matchup, like, all right, we got Auburn this week, just bold circle Keldendrick Faulk, and we're just planning our game around
for sure
negating him, and then you're just kind of fine. So I always like to think that context is important when you're talking about lack of production, because the other team is just always focused on you.
Yeah, and like he was a guy like everyone, like he's been a guy since like he was a recruit. Like I know his name from recruiting, and I don't follow recruiting, so
yeah.
That tells you how well he thought of he was coming out of high school. So yeah, I don't I don't know. Wasn't LVN better than him coming out?
Yeah, but LVN also played like straight up defensive tackle, didn't he?
Yeah, true. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just trying to think of just I'm why would I spend a top 20 pick on this guy when
it's more of a luxury pick?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. That's kind of my point, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love the idea of if I'm a late first round team and it's just like I feel pretty good about my defensive front right now, but I want him, I want to, maybe we have a contract coming up or something like that. Let's just get this kid in the building, have him learn from all these guys, and then just start feasting. I think he'll be developing quicker than people think, but I'm just high up.
Who kind of makes sense? Minnesota.
Yep. I would be very scared.
If you're moving off of Grenard, you're freeing up playing time for Faulk. You don't really need your edge rusher to be an edge rusher because you're going to be blitzing and stuff, and that's really how you're going to get pressure. So you just kind of want the guy to be, a really good run defense. Like that makes a lot of sense to me. So
yeah, and I like
that doesn't happen.
I know. I like the alignment versatility with him too. I think he is someone that can play some inside just because he is so damn big.
Oh yeah, in third downs he's kicking in. I assume.
Yeah. All right. I think we're still going to go. TJ Parker's my number 4.
I would have had him ahead of Faulk. He would have been next for me.
I mean, I don't think it's far apart by any means, but another example of turn on the 2024 tape, because when I turned on the 2024, I was like, this is an elite power rusher. Like that was just immediately like, wow. One of those guys, he combines, going through the face of offensive tackles, but he's got the hand usage with, plenty of counter moves, a bag, he's really well built, a little under 6'4", but 263, 33 plus inch arms. We'll just keep saying arm length caveat there. But I love how consistently he disengages from blockers, regardless of whether he gets extended, which I think that sometimes once you get extended, it can be a lot easier to disengage. But from ugly situations, he's still able to disengage because of his hand usage. He's got that bull rush, the play strength. He's got the lower body strength to anchor down against the run. I always love a guy that once he's at the quarterback, he's attacking the football almost as much as he is actually tackling the quarterback. It's resulted in plenty of forced fumbles over his career. As far as engaging, I'd like to see him tie his hips with his hands a bit more. But I think that's just a beef I have with 90% of prospects on defense nowadays. But man, really, really fun power rusher. I know 2025 didn't go as planned for Clemson, but this is still a really good player that everyone's overthinking.
Yeah, sub 4.7, 40 at 263. He's only going to be 21 to start the season. Again, he's another one of these pups. Only spent 3 years at the college level. 41 and a half TFLs, 21 and a half sacks.
That's awesome.
He's a pup. We talk about this damn near every episode. I'm way higher on all the Clemson guys.
Yeah, every one of them.
I'm just like, the team couldn't figure it out. The individuals were actually very good. So
I even liked Antonio Williams, the tiny little wide receiver. Really fun tape. It's just when that quarterback situation's not going awesome.
Parker, if you have to play a guy full drive, right, in this draft class,
Parker's up there. Yeah.
He's behind Bane for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because Bailey, you don't want him on the run. Faulk, you don't really want him in the pass right now. Reese, you don't know where you want to line him up necessarily. Probably not on the run, on the edge. Parker is the guy where I'm like, just take he's the opposite of Faulk, right? He's a not luxury pick. He's a very safe selection to me. And I think he has upside too. Even as a pass rusher. I mean, he's getting in the backfield. It's just, his production wasn't as good this past year as it was in the past. But, I mean, that's the same for so many of these guys. I mean, it was the same for Woods. It was the same for Capehart, the whole nine.
He feels like a player that could go 12 to 15 and the fan base gets pissed. They're like, why'd you take Parker so early? And then they watch him and they go, oh, never mind. Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, no.
I'm very
I'm a fan, though. I have him. I have him probably closer to Bailey than I do to Faulk.
Yep, I think it's totally fair. All right, now I think is where I start getting weird. Number 5's R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma for me,
buddy. I'm with you.
Oh, okay.
I
Whoa.
have one guy. I have one guy who I think I'm way higher on than you, but like our Mason Thomas, love it. Wanted to hate him. Sorry to
Same.
step on your toes.
Ex-
I'm like, I don't want to like another small Oklahoma guy. Like, I don't want to deal with this. And then I was like, dude, he really does get off the ball.
He's
Like
so sick.
he flies, dude. So
You know,
I don't I think at least early on you got to be really careful about how you use him, and you have to use him as a situational pass rusher and stuff. And then I don't know how he's going to help you on teams if you need your backup guys to be on
mm,
teams. Like maybe you need a bigger edge somewhere on your roster or a bigger off-ball linebacker just so that he doesn't have to play on like punt team or something like that. But if you have the roster space for a designated pass rusher that you don't have to start every down, like our Mason Thomas is like really, really good at his job, man.
I think I know why you might like him too. It's that speed to power rush where he gets his hands above his eyes with that forward lean. I know you loved Vince Beagle for that stuff way back in the day too. He's got some of that on tape. The twitchiness, the being able to convert speed to power. He should be a designated pass rusher, but what I'll give him credit for is I think he's pound for pound stronger than you might expect for a 240-pound edge.
Yeah.
Like he's
Still
gonna
not
at least,
but like, yeah, he's still 240
it's not
pounds.
great,
Yeah.
but he's gonna try really hard, and I
Yeah.
at least appreciate. Like I do genuinely appreciate that in a football player. He's got some great pressures on tape. Just I think he wins in a couple of different ways. One of my favorites, just blindside bend around the backside and just he like he's like the flying squirrel.
Yeah, dude, it's like
Yeah.
howler monkey just like jumping on a dude's back sometimes.
It's awesome.
Again, I think the issue is not the ability, it's just situationally. How many times are these situations going to come up where you're going to be able to get him on the field and do some of these things? And where is your team at? Like if he goes to a bad football team, he's never going to be able to rush the passer, right? So you got to be kind of cognizant. I think he needs a good home, but he's a very talented player.
Yeah, I had way more fun with him than I was expecting, and I was just like, I can't quit this because feels like I'm kind of the next couple guys I'm going to talk about. Well, I guess him and the next guy I'm going to talk about are this weird tier of clearly designated pass rushers, but I like them enough. I'd take them on the back end of round one. The other guy for me is at 6. It's Cashius Howell. Wow, just some of the pass rushing reps for him. Ghost moves, bend. He's not. I don't think he's as twitched up off the snap as our Mason Thomas is, but he's way more fluid, I think, and bendy. He's got some hand usage to, I think set him up and almost slingshot himself off of some of these like strikes. But he can just get so damn low to the ground. He's a little bit thicker. He's another of these arm length controversy guys, but the way that he can get around blocks and underneath blocks, I think he's someone that is going to show up legitimately and be a productive pass rusher. My bigger concern compared to Bane, where I'm not as worried about the lack of length, it does feel like Howell's lack of length really shows up in ugly ways on tape.
Yeah. I would completely agree with you. I think the lack of explosion, like relative to our Mason Thomas, is the big thing for me, and then the length too. I probably actually would have had him a little bit further down. He was a transfer guy. He ended up getting his start at Bowling Green. I've seen some people be like, could he be the next Von Miller? And I'm like, I think you guys completely forget what Von Miller looked like when he was at A&M, dog.
Just because he can run a ghost move here and there doesn't make him Von Miller.
Yeah.
Is this Von Miller?
Yeah. No, I would take our Mason Thomas. I'd probably take a couple other guys ahead of Hal too.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll keep talking. There's a lot of guys in this class, man.
I know. There's so many. I think I already know one of the names you're going to say. Still a little ways down. This is the one I struggle most with to put up because I still feel like even this might be too high for me. But at 7, I have Akheem Mesador.
I was going to say, when are we going to talk about the elephant in the room?
It still feels high for me. Like big guy, 280, versatile. Here's my entire spiel of why I'm not as high on Mesador. And I think Zach Hicks, who covers the Colts, does a really good job with them to explain it best. He's like, I get concerned when it's a guy this old that only just now started being productive as a pass rusher because he has a fully developed bag. Like, if you couldn't do this before, then how dominant were you really? But also, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know if he might be he's big, but not big enough for me to feel comfortable consistently kicking him aside. And I don't think he has the athletic tools to consistently be an outside threat. He's weird.
He's a technician.
Yes.
And he's older.
Which
and
I don't love old technician as a guy I'm taking potential 15.
That's the big thing to me. Is like, I'm watching those Miami teams, right? And I'm like, I don't care that Mesador is going to be 25. I don't care that he's older than.
If I'm taking first round, I care a little bit.
Well, that's the conversation changed very quickly, because it went from like he's a third round pick, all this stuff, and I'm like, guys, third round pick, like you're lucky if they make like $5 million a year their second contract, right? Like they don't hit. Like it's legit, 1/5 of them end up hitting. Yeah, hitting the way fans think of them hitting, right? I don't care. Send the third round pick for him and tie him up, right? Like that's the conversation we're having during the playoffs. And then the playoffs really start rolling, and then people are like, "Oh, Mesador like might sneak into the second round." I'm like, "Okay, probably around like that's more reasonable to me." And then now you're seeing mock drafts where he's like, "Yeah, he's basically gone by 20," and I'm like, "All right, that's a totally different conversation that we're having now."
If you picked up his 5th-year option, he would enter free agency at 30 years old.
Yeah.
Brother.
It's tough. And like his game, I think, is going to age well again because he is the technician. There's a lot of weird stuff in his past in terms of the body stuff.
Yeah.
Just because he was at West Virginia, then he ended up going to Miami. They really had him playing like defensive tackle early on in his career, and he ended up being an edge rusher. So he's one of these guys who ends up shedding off some of the weight.
If I recall, Cristobal gave him a lot of credit for, being willing to make that move and then really working at it.
I mean, he probably lost 20 pounds, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, that sucks.
Medical note I have, it looks like he's had a foot injury that's been bothering him and popping on and off since 2023.
He missed a year, right? There was a year he missed. Yeah, 23. Because that's one of the things too, is like he's been a starter basically his entire career. Like I know he's a 6-year guy, but he's basically been a starter his entire career. He's Canadian if you hold that against him.
I mean, drop him down a few more spots then.
There's one, maybe two guys left that I would think about having over Mesador, but that's kind of it, even including the age. He's going to be a solid football player. I don't think he's going to be an all-pro. I don't think he's going to be a Pro Bowl guy. I think you're hoping for like an 8-sack guy. But again, once you include the age and all that stuff, you're like, uh-oh. We're spending a top 20 pick for this? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's funky. All right. I got one more name that I like as a borderline, late or end of round 1. Why? No, we'll just say round 2 because I just talked about Mesador and I would not touch him in the first round. But Zion Young comes in at edge 8.
Okay, that's one of the ones I was talking about. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like edge setter, power rusher. He's got a lot of those boxes checked for me. I like the way he plays the game. He ain't scared. He's tough as hell. Yeah. DWI arrest I don't know what year that is. I have it written down. I've mentioned, I think, on Draft Talk before. He does come off as a bit of a hothead. He had an altercation in the tunnel that I think led to some like charges being filed against him. But it's not just that. But like when I've watched tape, I wish I could write down the specifics. But it feels like if he does a cheap shot or gets flagged, or maybe he's getting bothered by something, I think it clearly affects him after the fact on like ensuing snaps, and that does worry me a bit from a mental standpoint. But man, like he's not soft. I'm definitely going to tell you he's not soft.
No chance. No. And he kicks inside too, and he sticks his nose in it. And it's kind of hard to be soft while you're doing stuff like that. I think he's better than the other edge rusher who ended up staying, the kid who transferred from Georgia. Again, I've told you guys this already, I think, but I've heard smoke that the Packers really like him, and I've only heard more of it since then. So I think at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if a team. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a team, like even if he starts slipping, a team ends up jumping up the Packers to take him. Go ahead.
One name I had saw for him on a mock draft where I was like, I can realistically see this is the Bears at the end of the first round. Like, just get some nastiness.
Yeah, I mean, blitz heavy blitz heavy team. You don't really need edge rusher. You can use more of a run stopper. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing with Zion Young too, right? He's kind of in the Packers mold, right? Where you're looking at like an LVN, a Rashawn Gary, something like that, where you want this guy to be 270 pounds. Maybe he can kick inside like LVN has, or like a Zadarius Smith has, right? In the past, you really want him to be an edge setter, and then you'll figure out the pass rushing stuff a little bit later. I do think that he does have pass rushing upside. A lot of it is based off of effort right now, and the movement of his like hands and stuff, and the fact that he's got like stilts for arms. But it's not because of like quick explosion off the ball and bend stuff like that. So he's more of an edge setter. I think you're going to see more pass rush production out of him when he's kicked inside on third downs and he's playing like defensive tackle and stuff like that. So, if you have two defensive tackles and they're good run stoppers and you're like, damn, we just can't get any pressure on the inside. Like that's a good way to kind of build a roster, is adding a guy like Zion Young.
Yeah, he's going to be a good football player. Like, I just think as long as he keeps his head straight. Because again, this is outside knowledge exclusively for me, but some of this stuff does worry me a little bit. I'm not a therapist, and I haven't talked to the kid personally, so always make sure to clear that caveat. All right, I got a weird one for you at 9. It's another designated pass rusher. It's someone that we've already mentioned. I really like Romelo Height.
Really? You like him a lot more than I do.
I know. I couldn't quit him just because I love the tape. I think this is exclusively a third down guy. Like I do not.
Want him on
the, I do not.
Oh yeah. Him. Like can't play him on special teams. Too small. He couldn't hit 240, right?
Yeah, he's 239. It's bad. Yeah. But I love how he can win in so many different ways with his athleticism. He's got speed.
And not just have the like frame too, dog. He's got arms for legs. It's messed up. It's messed up how long he is.
It's so fun to watch him because he's gonna bend around you. He is gonna stab outside and then cut across your face and generate pressure inside. He's got inside and out spin moves. He's got, for being that small, his bull rush is effective, and I think it's because the tackle has to plan for so many different scenarios. They're almost like on their heels. And when he feels that, he's like, all right, screw my initial plan. I'm just going to go into this guy's chest. And he does it like a rabid dog. And I really appreciate that for a smaller guy. And I also think that he's long enough and fluid enough and has play speed in space. He can drop, and you instead of having him rush, you can kind of just drop him into one of these zone drops. When you're not expecting it. It's a really fun designated pass rusher that gives you, in my opinion, some coverage ability that you not always expecting. But I love, even without it being super technically refined, he just wins in so many different ways with the athleticism. And I just thought it was incredibly fun. Now, as far as 53-man roster construction, like you said, lack of special teams value, way too small to trust. He's not going to play that many snaps, but I'm a sucker for the tape, man.
That's what makes it so weird. Height coming to Green Bay, because he's visiting Green Bay right now.
Yeah, I was surprised by that one, honestly.
How are you going to do that with Colin? Like Colin Oliver is already kind of that guy.
Yeah, that's the conversation we had in the Slack yesterday, and I was like, but do you really want to make future roster decisions based off a 5th-round pick with injury history?
I guess. I don't know. But
I'd view it as an upgrade over Oliver, but at the same time, are you just throwing away that draft pick right now?
See, I liked Oliver coming out, so I don't know if I have them a lot closer, I think, than you do. But just crazy stuff with this guy, right? 80-inch wingspan, even though he's under 6'3".
He looks like a pterodactyl.
39-inch vert. He's been at 4 schools. He was Georgia Tech, USC, Auburn, Texas Tech. Long, skinny pass rusher. He's not going to help against the run. He's interesting. He definitely needs a home. You need a plan. Again, these are kind of, everything isn't so simple, right? Everyone's just add a player, and then you don't realize you still only can dress 48 guys on game day, and you got to figure out how to play teams. And at the NFL level, I know fans don't want to hear about special teams. Folks, it's 20% of the snaps. For every 2 offensive snaps, you're playing 1 on special teams. That's the reality of the situation right now. And they've only made it more important with all these rule changes. So I think it is worth bringing up.
I think just looking at my board in complete transparency, I don't mess with this board much once I put it together, and then we talk through it, and I look at it and I go, maybe I made a mistake. So because the only reason I'm saying that is because the next three guys I'm about to talk about on my total board are all like consecutive players with all the positions included, because I like all three of these next guys. So maybe I'd put Height behind the next three guys we talk about, because I think they are more functional full-time players, starting with Dennis-Sutton.
Buddy,
Penn State.
Thank God we brought him up. So I had him higher than Thomas and Young.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. I get all three of these next guys are grouped together. I think I have top 50 grades on all three of these next guys.
Dennis-Sutton, I might take in the end of the first, dog. These
you
guys
might risk always, it all.
These guys always work. I mean, he's 6'6",
former
sturdy body. You could look at the history of guys who run like 4.6s and then under like a 7-second cone. They always work. Those are always the guys who are all pros. I watched the film. I think he's going to be a plus run defender immediately just because of length and strength. And he's got like underrated like dip and bend and stuff for like that length.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like Robert Quinn type of stuff. And I'm like, because I know right now consensus board, he's at like 70.
That's way too low.
I'll go 40 picks higher than that. I don't care. I'm taking.
I mean, it's the easiest like checklist of things. Is like, was he a former 5-star? Is he a mutant? Did he play a lot? Did he produce a lot? He did all of those.
Also, like these Penn State edge rushers, like they're almost always better as pros.
Yeah,
it's like they never get coached at Penn State, and then they're always better as pros. Whether it's Micah, whether it's Owe, whether it's who's the kid in Miami who ended up Chop Robinson.
Yep,
like Chop. They always do better as pros because Penn State is running all this gimmick stuff on both sides of the ball, and all they do is like weight train guys, which is great for drafting guys.
Yeah.
And then you get them on a discount once they come into the NFL. But yeah, the Penn State guys aren't going to be finished products.
Penn State's had a player in every Super Bowl. Remember that graphic?
Except for
5. Except for the ones that they have. He is so fun. He's not getting that. He will get drafted so much earlier than people are thinking. And they're like, why is Dennis-Sutton's like, because it's the easiest person to pitch to your front office, like your GM. There's gonna be a scout in that room going like, why are we overthinking this?
Like, wait, we get this freakishly like freak in both like frame and athleticism guy who's been productive 5-star
and
guy.
Played a lot. He played a lot.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why is he ranked so far behind? Yeah, like why is he ranked behind Akheem Mesador?
You honestly, you could sell me. I'd feel more comfortable taking Dani than Mesador.
And like we talk about like Faulk, right? Where it's like, oh, but the frame, and it's like Sutton basically has the same frame as Faulk, and I think he's a better pass rusher right now. I know Faulk's a little younger, right? Okay, that's a benefit for him. But like, I don't know, just the Dennis-Sutton stuff. I'm like, did he kill someone? And I've asked around, like, no, he seems like a fine kid, but. I'm just like, why aren't people higher on him? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm very curious by him. Right next to him for me is Gabe Akis out of Illinois.
That's the last one in my tier. My day 2 tier was Dennis-Sutton, R. Mason Thomas, Zion Young, and then Gabe Akis, which is spelled like it almost looks like Jackass. It's not.
Yes,
Jackass.
It does. It's Akis, which is a weird way to pronounce it. I'm on my a 270-pound toolsy power rusher. He's got some technique stuff. But he's got some technique stuff as far as like counters against hand usage that where I'm like, when you can work off your power and do some stuff like that, I am listening. But a big body like that can be a 3-down player and that power rusher. He kills people as a tackler too. It looks like
light him up.
It looks like it hurts when you get tackled by him.
I kind of view him as kind of like a Kingsley Enagbare type of guy. I don't think that he's ever going to be like this crazy pass rusher, but like if you need him to be a second, like complementary guy, effort guy, opposite of like a stud, and have him play in the run game and stuff like that. I could see you eventually paying that guy like, I don't know, 10 million per or something like that. So yeah, that's how I view him. I liked him, I think relatively. I mean, there's certainly guys ranked ahead of him on the consensus board that I'm lower on. So I gave him a 3rd. I know. So he's 53 on the consensus board. So I guess I am a little lower on him, but not as low as some of these other guys.
Yeah, I think it's really fair. He's I get him and the Illinois tackle I ended up being really high on because I just watched them back to back. JC Davis. Just two guys I think I was higher. It feels like people are really starting to board the Akis hype train though, and it might be one of those players where we're over market correcting as the draft gets closer because he's a name not a lot of people have talked about. They're like, well, I want to talk about the guy not everyone's talking about, and then we overcorrect. That's just the time that we're in. Last guy that's right next to them, different player, not a power rusher, but Malachi Lawrence out of Central Florida. I got to see him in person at the Shrine Bowl. Then when I went back to watch the tape, because I was like, yeah, he's doing okay out here. He's winning some one-on-ones and stuff like that. And then I watched the tape and I'm like, oh, you can't play the run to save your life, but the pass rush is sick. He's like 253, but he's got legit length at 33 and a half plus inch arms, tested really well. He can fly off the edge. He can bull rush and get extended. He's got the agility to flash inside and to catch you whiffing if you're trying to set up out. And he's got, a handful of, counter moves with his hand usage. So I think that is going to be if he can work on the run discipline stuff, I think that's a guy that's going to be a, legit rotational edge.
He was my next guy too.
Okay.
So he was next in my tier. I gave him a day 2.5. So like third, fourth. I'm just not, I mean, the run game stuff is what I'm worried about the most by far.
It's not even, I don't even know if it's technique, but to me, it's just like, I don't even think you're going in the right gap. I think you're just winging it here. Like that's the stuff I saw.
The other thing too is I kind of think he's just like a straight line speed guy. Like I just don't know how many more of those opportunities are going to present themselves in the NFL when the tackles are so much better and stuff like that than in college. When I mean he's not doing it in the SEC, he's doing it in the Big 12, right? I worry about him. I get the idea of him as like a situational pass rusher and stuff like that. I think it's hard to roster those guys. It's hard to keep those guys on the 48. It's why the NFL, like you see so many like big edges as backups instead of situational guys. It's because like, hey man, well, someone has to play the run and then also someone has to play special teams. And I don't know if that works for him.
Yeah. All right. Another guy that's, I guess, kind of similar if you're talking about straight line, but Derek Moore out of Michigan.
That was also my next guy.
Congrats. Okay. See. All right, we're doing pretty good again. We've calmed down from my Romelo Height take. Go ahead with Derek Moore.
I think he's just like a C+, B- at everything type of guy. He makes a lot of he's kind of. I'm trying to think of like safe guys in this class. Like I think Dennis-Sutton is actually pretty safe, but like young. Akis and then Moore, right? I think all those guys are pretty safe. Once you get out of round one, if you're looking for a guy and you're just like, I just need to fill this roster spot, eat up snaps and stuff like that. I don't think Moore is ever going to even be like, I saw a lot of people were excited about him as a pass rusher. I'm not really sure I'm excited about him as a pass rusher. I think he's fine.
He's at least got the twitch. So he can be like a speed to power guy, but he doesn't have anything off of it. Is how.
But like, I think he's gonna get like 6 sacks a year or something like that.
Which is, if that's a rotational guy for me, that's a huge win.
Yeah. Like I think he's a N3, N4. I don't think you want this guy being a starter, but like he can play any situation, which is gonna help you. So, depending on what your room looks like, I think he makes a lot of sense.
Yep. All right, we'll start going a little faster through some of these guys because I still got like 10 more to go through.
I'm almost out.
Yeah, LT Overton out of Alabama is weird. That's my next up at 14. Like he's raw and powerful. He's 283 and like he's gonna be a run stopper. He occasionally flashes the pass rush, but like I think the stamina with him, I see like current Rashawn Gary vibes at times that worry me a little bit as far as the stamina and run discipline go.
I've seen him in passing. I didn't fully grade him out. He was like the next guy that I was going to get to, and I didn't.
He's one a couple years ago I watched, and I was like, oh wow, if this guy develops, he could be something, and he's just kind of been the same guy, and
he's so weird because he was a guy who was kind of like the in between, like defensive tackle, edge rusher thing, and those guys always lose weight. And it's always the wrong decision. You should just get fatter and bang heads. I'm sorry. but no one wants to bang heads. They want to go play outside because it's a lot easier. I don't get double teamed, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like LT Overton, I'd probably I'd redshirt him and make him fat. That's what I'd do. I'd make him a 3-tech.
I need Justice to just be an NFL GM and just sit a guy down like LT Overton. Like, all right, listen, we're gonna make you fat. Like,
I'm putting 30 pounds on you. I'm sorry. Here's the meal plan. This is what we're doing.
I'll join you in. It sounds awesome. Let's just do it.
I don't know if I have another 30 to gain, dog.
Oh man. Yeah, I would say it's a bit of a disappointment that he's never gotten, we've never seen like the big steps or strides in development.
Oh yeah.
I kind of feel that way about a lot of Alabama players lately. I wonder if there's a recurring reason for that. I wonder what that could possibly be.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Williams was on the cover of the video game, and he ended up being like their wide receiver 4 in the playoffs. Yeah.
The only Alabama guy I'll say very, very nice things about is Jeremy Bernard. I think that guy's sick.
He reminds me a ton of Romeo.
Yep, and in the good ways. All right, I got Joshua Josephs at 15.
He was my last guy.
All right, you go on him then, since you got your notes on him.
I think he's just a run and chase guy, honestly. I give him a day 3 grade, so like I'd give him like a 4th, 5th. That's about basically when I really stopped considering the draft even being the draft, and then it's just like undrafted free agency. Good luck. He's really small, man. Like he's 240.
Another DPR like guy.
All of it's in his upper body. None of it's in his legs. He's got no power in his legs. Long arms. I think he's just kind of a jag who runs. Like he's just a guy. I think, you definitely like him in a system where he drops more because at least he can run in those type of systems. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do that, I'd rather just have Romelo, as we've already talked about.
I have Romelo higher than him. So yeah. So.
It's all lengthier. Like it's a designated pass rusher. It's got some like fluidity and can move, but other than that, there's not a lot to him. I am curious to see what that looks like. He needs the right home, and even then, I just think you're not gonna see a ton of impact. There's another guy next up that I would have higher, but I'm so scared of the knee, and that's Mason Riger out of Wisconsin. Another Shrine Bowl guy. You should take a look at him. He was way more fun than I was expecting, because he is another guy that wins in a variety of ways. He's got legit agility and length. 32 and 7/8 inch arms, tested well, which was good to see. From what I've been told, multiple knee surgeries. Shout out Archon for being on top of that.
Yeah, so I've checked in on that, and they say that the scouts have told me that he's fine. But then I looked into what the knee surgeries were, and it's like a bunch of them.
Yep.
It's like he's had like 7 of them or something like that.
Like
the
shelf life on this guy is going to be. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I appreciate that he went inside and out. He's got the hand usage. He's going to have good effort and motor and compete. Like this is definitely a back of your rotation, but he's going to see the field, even if it has to be earlier downs. He's 250. He's going to get extended. He's going to play the point of attack well, technically, which I like. He's got a versatile enough skill set as a pass rusher that I'm intrigued. If the knee surgeries weren't such a big issue, I might even have him higher. He looked good at the Shrine Bowl too. So he was one of the guys that was getting a lot of buzz from just standing around scouts. You can tell everyone's paying an awful lot of attention to him. So it's good to see. That's always one where my ears perk up. I'm like, there's an awful lot of scouts watching this particular person. So
yeah. Well, so if you want a point of reference for that, so like I talked to Galco, who runs Shrine Bowl. He was telling me in like October, he's like, scouts will not shut up about this Malachi Lawrence guy, and teams.
That was a big get for them, from what I had been told.
Yeah, and he was like DPPs and like scouting directors, like you're not supposed to really know these guys at that point in the season, right? Like that's why we have all these meetings now, and like they know them now, right? But those guys shouldn't be knowing guys who would potentially be like day 2 guys that early in the process. I know Brugler said that like he thinks Malachi Lawrence has the potential to go top 25. I
pass.
I buy the smoke. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being a riser. I don't know what the teams that are in on him in that ranges. But
yeah. After Riger, it's a pretty big teardrop for me. I think the rest of these guys are late day 3, borderline UDFAs. How many more other guys have you watched, or are we at the end of it?
This is the end of the guys I've watched. I mean, I've
Okay.
seen Anthony Lucas in passing. He had a lot of hype early on in the season, and then just didn't have the production again. He's a longer guy. He was at A&M. He's never really had any production. Mikhail Kamara didn't get invited to the combine, so I don't know how much teams actually like him.
I don't like him. Listen, so glad that he turned it around, and once the postseason came around, he kind of disappeared. At the beginning of the season,
and he was a guy like Oregon guys would like hit me up about during like the spring, and he was like, "What do you think about these like Indiana defensive line? Because they're so. I mean, no surprise, Oregon's petrified about all the stunts and stuff Indiana was running because that's how they built that football team." And Kamara was a big reason for that in 24, but he wasn't in 25 until the playoffs.
He's such a tweener, and I don't know if IU Pro Day is happening as we're recording right now. I have no idea what his length is going to come out to be, but I imagine it's not good. He's almost he sawed off. He almost plays like a 5 tech, but he's also too light to be a 5 tech. Like it's such a weird play style. He's going to be like an edge setter, if anything. I honestly, I think he's probably going to be a 7th. He's 20th on my list out of 22 guys.
I saw Vincent Anthony Jr. in passing.
Slender man?
Yeah, pass.
He's 21. He's 21. He's behind Kamara for me.
Yeah. I want to watch the Western Michigan kid, Nadame Tucker.
Oh, I have not gotten
I've heard good things about him.
Western always gets like one prospect that comes out that's like rock solid.
The Northern Illinois. So here's a fun one. The Northern Illinois head coach who ended up leaving and becoming the running backs coach for the Seahawks left and made the decision to leave when he heard that Tucker got more in NIL from Western Michigan than all of NIU's bank for NIL.
Wow.
Tucker got paid like $1 million, which is crazy for Western Michigan. As
Packers fans, we have to root for Western Michigan. Shout out Jaden Reed. That's where he started his college career, and Sky Moore. So
LaFleur.
Yeah.
LaFleur's
and LaFleur, yeah. Western Michigan guys. Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to look at like other Patrick Payton sucks. Patrick Payton sucks, and he's 20 years.
He's 22 out of 22 for me. I only have like 3 UDFA grades on the 160 guys I watched. He is one of them.
Payton sucked. He got like first round hype going into last year. I could not believe.
Dude, his first breakout year at Florida State, you're like, this guy might be something, and then I feel like he just got getting bigger because he was like kind of slender early at Florida State, and I swear he bulked up way too much, and now he's just ineffective at everything. Like you watch his quote unquote highlights from this last year, he's not doing anything.
No,
that's pretty harsh, but that's how I feel. I want to watch Quincy Rhodes out of Arkansas. I've not gotten to him yet.
Didn't he go back?
He's 6'6", 275.
I think he went back.
Did he?
Yeah, because he was one of the big guys who was supposed to come out and then ended up going back. He was like a top 100 guy. I'm pretty sure.
Classic me, just writing the name down and then not following up on actually checking anything. We skipped past a couple. 17 from here, so right behind Riger, but again, teardrop. Tyreek Sapp out of Florida. That's just a run defender, pocket pusher. Like I don't think he's pretty stiff, but he's strong as hell. Like
cool.
The strength. Yep. You mentioned Lucas. He's 18 for me. Wesley Williams out of Duke. I like him more than Vincent Anthony, but he's more of like a traditional defensive end over like a edge. He'll be kind of an edge setter. He's 256. He's fine. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Kamara 20, Vincent Anthony 21, Patrick Payton 22. That it drops off hard. These later ones.
Well, I mean, it's edge rushers, man.
Yeah,
like edge rushers, like the tiers drop off quick, dog. Because once you're like, okay, this guy isn't a 1. It's a totally different value proposition.
Yeah. All right. We did it. And we did it in about an hour, which feels like record time for us. I thought this was going to take a lot longer. Next week, do we just do a live mailbag?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Done. Maybe just do it in an evening one day. Figure that out.
I'm going to do that. And then I'm probably going to, I'm going to chip away at some of these guys that I haven't seen yet. Cause I still got to get I'm looking at these guys and Kieran Crawford, the kid out of Auburn, the edge out of Auburn. I gotta watch him. I gotta watch Caleb Proctor, the defensive tackle out of Southeast Louisiana. God forbid.
Was that
Jude
another
Bowery.
Shrine Bowl guy? I think I saw him in person.
I don't know. Jude Bowery from Boston College, the tackle. I gotta watch him. I kept watching the Florida tackle. I ended up giving him a day 2 grade.
Florida tackle, offensive tackle or defensive tackle?
Austin Barber, offensive.
Oh
tackle.
yeah.
Oh man, he's good.
Okay. Well, listen, it's April 1st already, if you can believe it, which means we have at most 3 more draft talks.
Yeah.
So maybe next week we do a mailbag. The week after we do our guys draft.
Okay.
And then the week after that is draft week. So we do some kind of mock draft, maybe Packers focused thing.
Okay.
Figure out something else to do for funds that, but we'll be doing at least I will. And Justice is a honored guest if he wants to come on a live draft show day 1 and 2. I'm going to need people to really convince me that day 3 is worth it. Otherwise, I'm just going to veg on the couch and recover because that's a rough one to try and do a live stream.
It happens too fast on day 3, and then you have like the orangutans making the picks, and
that's the goat. That's the greatest. The orangutan made the Colts.
It's just never worth it. If they're not going to take it seriously, why the hell am I taking it seriously? The draft should end after 5 rounds. It really should.
It's all pretty useless players. And you can point to Brock Purdy, but it's like that's the first ever Mr. Irrelevant to do like anything. So
yeah.
What a Mr. Irrelevant though. Gotta give him credit for that. All right.
Not Mr. Irrelevant. And then we didn't. The NFL posted us.
That's right. That's right. Next year's the year of comp picks. Well, all right, Justice. Thanks for joining me for the Edge episode. No more positions for draft talk people clamoring for it. Just get over it. We'll recover.
Receivers, tight ends, safeties. I'm sorry.
Bring the questions. Bring the questions next week with the mailbag. It'll be live on YouTube, and then we'll keep it recorded so the audio people can listen to it too. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate Justice. Until next week. Take care. Go Pack Go.